Hi there, greetings from beautiful Jasper National Park, Canada. Amazing Pyramid Mountain there behind me. As you can see, snow on the ground. It's heading into winter here, getting pretty chilly. I am going to be in a very different place very soon though. I'm out of here at the end of the month of November in less than 2 weeks, heading to Portland, Oregon, and then flying to Waikiki, Honolulu, Hawaii. Can't wait, really looking forward to it. So in 3 weeks I'm going to be kicking back on the most popular and most touristy beach of Hawaii. Can't wait, that will be quite a change obviously from hanging out in the cold here. And then my adventures will continue further from there. I'm not sure where I'm going next, but just wanted to get a taste of sun and sand and surf and get my tan back. Alright, so this video is on the subject of how to connect with your higher self. And I came across a quote from Bashar recently that doesn't answer that question specifically, but it really speaks to it in my own opinion of how to actually connect with the higher self. And yes, this is a new agey concept, the higher self. What does that actually mean? Do we really have a higher self? Like, how do you know? There's no way to know, obviously, but it is my own opinion and experience that says that we are a consciousness first and foremost. We are a soul, a spiritual being having a human experience in a physical body, and that which we experience within our conscious awareness in human form here on earth is really only the tip of the iceberg of the totality of our consciousness. And that we originated from a spiritual entity, a consciousness within the spiritual realms that decided to come to earth and have this earthly human experience. And in the process of becoming human, we forget much of who we truly are. We forget about our previous lives that we have lived here on earth and who knows where else. And so we are operating from a place of limited perception and capability and remembrance of the fullness of who we truly are. But we can access other aspects of ourselves, the greater aspect of ourself, and utilize those other parts of our beings in order to have a fuller, realer, deeper, more meaningful life, and have access to knowledge and information and presence of our being, which can greatly enhance our experience here as a human, and also enhance our learning experience, which evolves our soul in totality, including our higher self, which is also a evolving being, as I understand it. Alright, so to the quote by Bashar. Bashar is a channeled entity, channeled through Daryl Anka, and someone who I think is really, really right on, and I love what he has to say, and he's also a fun and very funny personality. So a good guy to listen to and pick up some tips and lighten your mood a little bit. Unity in a society does not come from conformity. Unity can only come from granting equality and validity to the infinite diversity of all individuals. The universe is infinitely diverse. Every being has their own way of exploring the idea of infinite creation, and all these ways are equally valid. When a society encourages the unique expression of each individual, that is when the society is strongest and most unified. When you grant equality and validity to everyone, you are granting equality and validity to all aspects of creation, and as a reflective result of this, the entire creation supports you in everything you do as well. Alright, so basically what that quote is saying is that we do not need to conform to some kind of a societal standard in order to create peaceful, unified, balanced, healthy, effective societies. And so he's speaking to something else there, how to create better societies of people on Earth. But this speaks directly to what I would say is the answer to the question of how to connect with one's higher self. And that is to honor one's subjective uniqueness. So most mainstream religions and many spiritual paths are highly dismissive of subjective experience, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, ideas, visions, etc. They basically say that there is a template created by God in which you should live your life according to this template, this specific set of rules or precepts or whatever, and that if you adopt this construct, this paradigm, and apply that to your life, then you will be a better person and you will live a better life and you will be more aligned with God and have a better chance of getting into heaven or hang out with the angels or whatever. You will have a better future in this life and beyond. And in my view, this is completely incorrect. Now Mormonism takes this to the extreme, to the extent that I understand Mormonism. My best friend growing up was Mormon, so I've been to Mormon seminaries and have read just a little bit about it here and there. But I was watching a video sometime in the past year of someone describing one of the main tenets of Mormonism, and that is that basically you should not have a subjective self. The spiritual practice is to rid yourself of your own personal subjective thoughts and feelings, and then take in God basically, and be ever striving to think what God would think, and to do what God would do, and to basically subvert your own subjective being in favor of a higher authority of God. And to me, this is just the worst thing in the world. This is self-hatred, basically, self-denial, and a eradication of the self. And the reason that this is a problem and is not the way, in my opinion, is because all that exists is self. That is all that there is. There is self-consciousness manifested in many different forms, many different beings throughout the universe. And so we are all a subjective self. God is a subjective self. And we are all part of God, living out our individual uniqueness in various ways, with a perception that is part of the learning process of making sense of who we really are. The whole journey of life is one of self-understanding, self-knowledge, self-realization. And so that is the answer to how to connect with one's higher self, is to go deeper into the self and to honor one's subjective, unique, individual perspective, thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, beliefs, visions, etc. on how to go about living life and how to be happier and how to have better relationships and how to improve the world and all this good stuff. It does not mean that one is always right, that one's intuition is always right, but it is not so much about being right. It is about coming to understanding of who you truly are, beneath the surface of the societal expectations and the distorted self-concepts that we have about ourselves, who we want to be, who we think we should be, and whatnot. So the way to connect with one's higher self is to start digging down into oneself further in order to find out, what's really there. Who are you really? And that is the direction, the route to get connected with the higher self. Not to be focused on that one's higher self is up there hovering above you somewhere, but that the higher self is within you. And that, in my view, then the subconscious is the route to the higher self. And through awakening the subconscious, bringing the subconscious more into conscious awareness, then you get more in touch with your real feelings and emotions and belief systems and whatnot that is driving your life and creating your reality through your beliefs about yourself and the world, whether you realize it or not. And through dismantling those potentially faulty belief systems, and by working through and releasing the negative emotions that are in the subconscious, then you start to create space within your consciousness, within your being, in which you are more conscious, more aware, more awake within your consciousness. And you also open up a channel to your higher self, to the greater aspect of who you are. Because all of these limiting constructs within our consciousness, these false belief systems and limited ideas of who we are, and old, denied, suppressed, negative emotions, anger and fear and sadness and judgment and guilt and resentment and jealousy and shame and the whole kit and caboodle that is weighing people down in their subconscious to a great extent. That is what is in the way, separating one from their higher self and separating one from source consciousness, the divine source of being, God. And so the way to connect with one's higher self is to start getting down into yourself more, stripping away the layers, the barriers within one's consciousness, and finding out what is really within there, and honoring your own path, your own truth, as being the best guide that you have on the path of life to finding real truth within. Not that it is faultless, not that it is perfect, not that it is always right, but it is better than, in my opinion, following some sort of a guideline of do these 10 things and then you will connect with your higher self, or then you will go to heaven, or then you will be happy. But instead to honor that uniqueness, which was encapsulated so well in that quote by Bashar, and recognize that there are many different ways to arrive at the ultimate destination of self-realization. There is no one specific path that you do this and then 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 boom, you're enlightened. It doesn't work that way, in my view. There are many teachings that are helpful. There are many practices and techniques from the past several thousand years that can be very helpful. Meditation, practice yoga, all the various new things that are coming forth with the New Age movement and the channeled material and teachings from various beings and people sharing their own spiritual awakening stories. This is all part of the process of many different perspectives coming together and honoring people's different perspectives as valid. Not necessarily 100% correct, but as a valid part of the experiment of trying to make sense of reality and figure out what really works in advancing our soul, our consciousness, our understandings, and our societies, to make our lives more happy and make our world more peaceful. So what I would say is simply honor that truth within you and allow it to guide you towards what interests you, towards what you think will benefit you the most, towards where your creative flow takes you. And that could be a specific spiritual practice. That might mean studying Buddhism. That might mean taking up yoga. That might mean learning Reiki. But it might mean something else. It might mean practicing karate and making that your spiritual practice and your means of growth of body, mind, and soul. It could be painting, it could be music, but allowing oneself the freedom to explore the world within and without, and see what you find there. Seek out something real within, something unvarnished, some real substance of being that gives you something to work with, rather than just mental constructs and concepts of what is truth and what is spiritual enlightenment and what is actually effective in improving my life, but find out what actually works for you specifically, and honor that uniqueness and recognize that is truth. It is truth for you in terms of what really helps you in your life to feel better, to feel more effective, to feel more respected, to improve one's relationships with others and with yourself and with your higher self and with God. And as Teal Swan said in a great video from last year about creating one's own religion, rather than this one-size-fits-all, just follow the 10 Commandments or follow the 5 precepts of Islam or whatever, and then you'll be good, and then you'll go to heaven. Create your own religion, not for others to worship you, but your own perspective, your own beliefs, your own principles and techniques for what really helps you in your life. And this could mean taking ideas from the established religions or from other spiritual teachers and incorporating them into your worldview. And it can also mean coming to your own discoveries through your own experiences, having a ayahuasca experience. I've never actually done ayahuasca myself, but I've done other hallucinogenics and had very, very, very intense, profound realizations through those experiences. I would not have the same understandings of reality without them. And so those types of experiences have played a major role in bringing about my own understanding of how things work. And you don't have to do psychedelics or whatever. Through fasting, through meditation, through yoga, through many other things, through spending time alone in nature, etc., then I have come to my own conclusions about reality, which I've also combined with the teachings of others, and put together my own personal, unique, individual, subjective construct of what reality is, what I'm here for, what my purpose is, what the meaning of my life is, and how to make a greater connection with all that is, with divine consciousness. So, hope that helps. Take care. Namaste.